Hey there everyone, Luke here. Now before we talk about the chapter this week, just want to say one thing that I messed up on the in the last chapter when it was the wanted poster and I said 1 million. I meant to say 100 million. So got that cleared out of the way, but also as well because we're now in the new anime season, the spring or winter season, whatever. Basically, we're in the new anime season, which means we're getting Doctor Stone this week. So yeah, Thursday, Doctor Stone New World starts. 11 episodes for the first core, which from what I've calculated out, it's probably going to end at the moment of the Byakuya flashback in that first core, which will be a great point to end on. End on a really tragic note before getting into like, okay, we've got the platinum now. Things are starting to really get great exciting. So you know what this means. Like after the first half of the first core, most of the cast are going to be out of commission until the second core. So like Chrome, Ryusui, Taiju, Kazuki, Kazuki is pretty much out of commission as well. Like basically, the only main characters that we're going to be with for the second half of this core are going to be Suika, Chrome, Suika, Gen, Kohaku, and Senku. Like those are the only four main characters that we're going to be. Chrome, not Chrome, Kohaku, Suika, Gen, and Senku. Yeah, those four are going to be the ones once we get to Treasure Island. And the rest of the first core is just going to be them for a part of the main cast. But anyway, anyway, like with the other seasons of Doctor Stone, I'm going to be doing what's the difference on them on. Doctor Stone season 3 for the first core. I'm probably gonna do it as when we get the second core as well. So I'm gonna do it as like one core and two core, both jammed together for one big massive video. Unless there's a lot of stuff that that can be covered in the first core that can make a proper solid video out of them. But anyway, that's for later. I've rambled on too much now. Enough talking about Doctor Stone. We're talking about Mission Yozakura family. Alright, so this will be chapter 172, titled "I'm Sorry." I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm apologising, but hey, we all make mistakes. Now it's obviously actually I don't know what the title is actually referencing. Let's find out as we go. Like I'm generally like a bit lost. Like let's find out what as we go along. So we have. So we begin off the chapter pretty much from the end of the last chapter where we have Hifumi actually finding the wanted poster, but of course, she's like, "What's this site? I can't read English," so she's a bit confused about what is actually being said there. And it's kind of funny, like people are like, "Oh, subs are better." It's like, yeah, but you can't really understand the language. You can't understand the Japanese without the subtitles. Yeah, I just wanted to make a stab about this in regards to sub heroes. I mean, I love subs, but I also love dubs as well. I'm not taking anything away from it. But yeah, she's a bit confused about about what's happening before. She is grabbed. Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna make a joke. Then, but it's like it just went out of my head. So she's grabbed by Alpha's watch, which the what it goes Alpha's watch night, and it like springs this claw thing which grabs Hifumi by the stomach. So it's like right down. She's like, what's going on? Oh great, it's Alpha. Oh crap. So yeah, that is clearly tech from Shinzo there. Like he probably discovered like Shinzo's armory. Like probably Shinzo and Shion joined together to create this watch. But there's something really interesting in this chapter that is like, okay, this is gonna lead into some really interesting dynamics when we move forward. But yeah, Hirofumi's just like, oh, what are you doing here? It's dangerous to be out at night. And of course, Alpha is immediately to respond to Hirofumi's hypocrisy, like, yeah, you're doing the exact same thing here. We're going home, and Hirofumi's just like, wait, aren't you going to ask me why I'm out? But Alpha is just reiterating, like, look, I know why. I know why. I don't have to. I can kind of guess what you're going. Why you're out here. You had the dumb idea that you being around is a bad for me. So you went ahead and ran away from home. And of course, Hifumi can't hide it from her brother. She's just like, you're right, but that annoys me, so I'll say you're wrong. And Alpha's just like, oh, quit being stubborn. Yeah, you can't really hide anything from your siblings. They know you, and they know exactly like what you're thinking all the time. Well, I guess some more than others, but yeah, the ones that have been around each other for a long time is like, yeah, you can't really hide anything from me because I know you and I know exactly why you would do what you have done. So Hifumi is basically explaining why she's out doing what she's doing, and it's pretty obvious. It's pretty much what we all guessed from last week. It's like she wants to go and meet the other Yozakura siblings, but not for the reasons why we initially thought, because we initially thought like they knew about the siblings, but no, it's actually mentioned here where she says, "I'm messing around with my phone and it just popped up. I didn't want to forget it, so I took a screenshot, and it's got you, me, and Mama, and lots of others too. Don't you think there are relatives?" And I was just like, we don't have any relatives. So this is kind of interesting that Tayo and Mutsumi have sheltered them and not actually involved the other Yozakura siblings. And it makes me think, like, do the other Yozakura siblings know about Alpha and Hirofumi's existence? So I guess not, because Koichiro would be back at the house being like, Tayo, what have you been doing with my sister? So yeah, it's kind of interesting the fact that they're keeping themselves separated from the other Yozakura siblings, possibly as an attempt to not get them entangled in the world of the Yozakura family spies, in case they are actually like, I don't want to be a spy. Well, Hirofumi obviously wants to be a spy, but Alpha's more like, yeah, I don't want to get entangled there, so he's probably being sheltered from them for his own safety. And this actually could again make me theorize of like, maybe this is what happened with the other Yozakura siblings from the older generations. Like, once the new generation starts coming in, the older generation starts sort of seeping out into the world and doing their own thing. So members of like the 9th generation on the sibling from Ree's brothers and sisters might actually be out there, but they've had to leave because of the fact that only the current generation can be in the house for a really long time. Now I know that kind of goes against what has happened with Mutsumi's grandmother being in the house, but maybe it's like the siblings of the head of the Yozakura family. Once the new generation comes in, they have to go out and make their own way in the world. Like, that could be a possibility, but yeah, very interested that they don't actually know their aunts and uncles. Hirofumi was just like, "Oh, you can read English, Alpha. So what does it say?" And he translates to her that it's 100,000 per person. But this gives him a bigger shock of just like the wanted dead or alive, and he's just like, yeah. Here for me, we best go home right now before something bad happens. And as soon as this happens, and as soon as he's kind of thinking this, something bad happens as we see some like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man style tendrils just shoot up out of the ground, and I guess envelops them in like a really spherical ball type chain like thing, as we see two new villains which are later revealed to be associated with the Spy Association. So yeah, they're here under mysterious circumstances to capture Hirofumi and Alpha, because it turns out that the wanted poster was actually initiated like literally in like the last 5 minutes. So whoever sent out this poster, we're gonna have to get some explanation of why they're doing this. Like, could it have been Koichiro testing? Could it have been Koichiro actually knowing about them, like being the only Yozakura sibling to know about Hirofumi and Alpha, and actually testing them to see like, okay, these two have potential to be future spies for the Yozakura family? Or could it be Asa? But Pyjam's basically said to me like, that doesn't seem like Asa, and yeah, I kind of agree on him. So yeah, whoever these guys are, they have to be working either for someone not associated with Asa, or potentially Koichiro, or possibly Kai just testing the Yozakura, the next generation of Yozakura, to see if they actually have what it takes to take down Asa, as well as the 10th generation of the Yozakura family. It just remains to be seen. And of course, also this chapter is just to demonstrate what Hirofumi and Alpha's abilities are on the battlefield. Because like, okay, we're introduced to new Yozakuras. Let's see what they can do in battle themselves as well. As we have these unknown villains. The one in the black suit, and we have one in a black suit, and we have one that's like a blooded monster. So the black suit guy is just like, oh, careless reduction. Our probability of success is 50%. They're only 4 years and 6 months old, but they're still from the Yozakura. So basically, like, okay, even though they are young and they are 4, and I can just imagine Alpha and Hirofumi being like, no, we're 4.5. Like, okay, 4.5. Even though they're really young, they're still Yozakura, so they're going to be a viable threat either way. And he goes on to say the bounty was only posted 10 minutes. So yeah, basically calculating everything down to the exact number. As we have the blooded guy going like, yeah, they're from the Yozakuras, but they're still kids. So he's basically undermining them, whereas the black suit guy's like, look, we need to be careful with these. Yes, they are kids, but they're still Yozakuras. So we know how insanely strong this family is, even when they were young. So we've got to be extremely careful with them. And but we also see that Hirofumi's yo-yo is actually her primary weapon. So sporting her Killua from Hunter x Hunter style of fighting there, which, hey, I'm not complaining about. Killua's fighting style with the yo-yo is badass. And again, Red, we've got a Killua style fighting ability here. What more do you want? Like, I'm always going to bring up like the fact that Mission Yozakura has things that Red would enjoy, but he doesn't actually read Mission Yozakura. So yeah, like I said, her fighting style is compressed about the yo-yo. So pretty interesting things that we can see with that. And of course, Alpha's style is to do with that watch, as we see them actually getting we see them actually escaping the two of them and hiding out in a public phone box, as we see them going. As we see the two villains saying like, a flashbang, cheeky little brats. They're kids. They can't be far after them. Once I catch them, I'll chop off their legs so they can't run. As you see the guy, because the bloody guy was the one who was actually suggesting to chop their legs off. As we have the black suit guy just being like glaring at him like, not knowing exactly what he's thinking. But if I was him, I'd be like, isn't that a bit too extreme? So yeah, like I said, we have Alpha and Hirofumi in the public phone box, as Hirofumi obviously doesn't understand like the outside world, because she's like, well, I guess a lot of people don't understand like what a public payphone is anymore. So actually, questions like, what is this thing? And Alpha has to actually explain to her what a public phone box is. Like, seriously, does anybody these days know what a public phone box is? Unless you've watched Dot 2. But yeah, Alpha says like, oh, he's using it to send Tayo and SOS and their location, and his watch signal can't get through. So it's like, this is obviously tech beyond the Yozakura siblings, the Yozakura family life, because it's obvious that these people are jamming it. So maybe this is related to the Yozakura family. Like, maybe it is an uncle that they don't know about. Like, maybe it's like a great uncle, like Koicho, Tayo Mitsumi's uncle from the Yozakura side. Like, it's possible that could be the case. Like, we're actually getting into the aunts and uncles of the Yozakura siblings. That's still a possibility that's been on the table for a while in my theories. But yeah, he's not. But yeah, Alpha has no idea where it could be hiding, and they can't wait for the police. So they have to call Tayo first and foremost. As Hirofumi was like, right, but the internet isn't working on her phone, and Alpha comes up with the idea of like, given how forgetful she is, I'm sure he's glad that she screenshot everything, and if she hadn't, he would have believed someone put a bounty on them in the first place. Which why would you even consider that being a trick? Like, I guess because they're young and it's just like, oh, Hirofumi, you and your imagination. But yeah, seriously, why would your sister lie about something like that? Like, you have a bounty on your head. People are gonna try and kill you. You figured out Alpha would actually believe something like that, but I guess, like I said, young siblings having hyperactivations, it's whatever. He goes on and says, "Oh, then there is this website for bad guys. Who are these other people on there? Papa and Mama never said we had relatives, and it's weird, but we can't worry about that right now. So maybe, like I said, maybe like literally, given out the end how the shot ends, that." Mutsumi and Tao are going to have to do some explaining to Alpha and Hirofumi about who the other Yozakura siblings are, why they kept them so far apart from each other, and maybe they might actually think like, okay, it's time to actually go out and find out what they're actually going up to. Alpha's like, we have to worry about us. And he's like, Dad, I got a message through the house hotline. Now we just have to hide in the woods. But as he is saying his message, we see Hirofumi actually bawling her eyes out and being like, when I first saw this, it made me happy. I thought maybe there were others like us out there that maybe even if I'm not normal, they could teach me how to be a good sister. Yeah, Koicho teaching you how to be a good sister is gonna go about as well as teaching a dog how to sing and play guitar. If anybody gets that reference, I would love to hear it about teaching a dog how to play a guitar and failing miserably. Like seriously, anybody who does get that reference, I will like that comment. But yeah, she says, I was so excited I left right away, but I've just got you in trouble when you came to me. This is always happening. I always mess up. All I wanted is to be normal too, but I'll support. I want to support you. I really did. As Alpha's just like, oh, calm down, Hirofumi. And she's just like, oh, I'm a bad sister. I'm sorry, Alpha. As we see her wrapping the yo-yo string around him and throwing him into a tree. It's just like, it's okay. I've got this. I'll handle these guys. But the fact that she wanted to be normal too is quite interesting, considering that was the whole deal with Alpha in the last shot, how he just wanted to have a normal life, he didn't want to be involved in the spy world at all. Like, and even though I've been saying like Hirofumi kind of takes the spy angle, like wanting to be, I think part of her is just like, look, I just want to be normal because my brother wants to be normal. Which again begs the question, like, did other siblings in the Yozakura family from other generations feel this way and left the family? Food for thought, isn't it? So we see the two villains actually approaching us. We see the bloody guy just wrapped up in like the Dr. Octopus tentacle things, and we see the black suit guy being questioned by Hirofumi, like, what is that? I thought he was your friend. As he realized, I allied with him to increase my success rate, but it was an error. And the bulletin specified dead or alive, resist, and there is a 99.8% chance you'll share his fate. So come on, bring your brother, and all will be all right. But Hirofumi's just like, huh, you really think I'm going to believe you? You're a stranger. My mother said never talk to strangers, and I don't really get that percentage stuff because I hate math. Yeah, I feel like Shion is going to have some words with me when you meet her, Hirofumi, because she will probably be giving you a crash course in maths, and it's probably going to be like, no, I hate maths, I hate maths. Quit your whining, Hirofumi. You are taking your maths test right now. Like, that'll be a fun interaction with between Shion and Hirofumi when we get that. In the same way, it'll be a fun interaction between Hirofumi and Koichi. Like, I am so waiting for these two to interact with the Yozakura siblings because it's going to be just amazing to see how they're going to bounce off each other. After hearing this message, after hearing this statement from Hirofumi, the guy is just like expected the chance of Yozakura siblings signing out their family is pretty much zero, and he's just like, oh, I have no choice. I'll do 30% damage and ask again. As we have Hirofumi basically speaking like an old kid here when she names her attack, which is Hirofumi Yo-Yo Swirly Whirly, as she uses it in the same way that Koichi would use his steel spikes, to just like swirl it around and deflect every one of the Dr. Octopus style tentacles. So yeah, this is the first, like I said, the first fight for the Yozakura twins here, the 11th generation. So basically exciting to see what they can do as as the guy notices what is going on here and recognizes the actual string that's being used with the yo-yo, as he says, the tensile strength I suspected the yo-yo is made of the special Yozakura alloy Sakuraga, and the thread must be steel spider. So yeah, okay, this guy has to be working for Koricho. The fact that he knows what steel spider is, he has to be working with Koricho. If not Asa, then it has to be Koricho. Or, like I said, possibly Kai, as he goes on to say, as such, accuracy at mere 4. Oh, this is impressive. She could easily be in the top percentage of silver rank spikes. Okay, this basically confirms that Hiyofumi is not the next head of the Yozakura family, which I guess makes sense. Fruitspa is the first sister of the 10th generation, and she wasn't the next head, so it's very easy to assume that Hiyofumi wasn't going to be the next head, and the fact that she's just showing off how amazing she could be with the yo-yo steel spider at such a young age. Pretty much it's like the opposite. Like, yeah, she's not going to be the next head, but she's still got a lot to learn. As she's like, but to a former gold rank spy like me, she's still a baby. So yeah, pretty much confirmed right there. He is a gold rank spy, and according to some members in the Yozakura family Discord server, there's like 50 gold rank spies out there. So maybe they're all in cahoots with each other to kind of get the Yozakura siblings. But then Kai's meant to be the head of them. So is this Kai? Is this Koricho? Is this Asa? Just three possibilities. Like, it has to be three. It has to be either Kai, Koricho, and Asa at this point that are behind this. Kai for obvious reasons, Koricho for obvious reasons, and of course Asa. Like, they all have they're all clearly logical based on the evidence that we're seeing here, from this guy being a gold rank spy to knowing what steel spider is, to wearing a suit kind of like what Asa wears, except his is white, this guy's black. As we see him effectively grab the yo-yo from Hiyofumi, but before he can even do anything, Alpha uses his watch to get Hiyofumi away. But of course, this doesn't work as well, as he has his watch stolen. And from what I can tell, I can't tell what exactly the guy's doing with the watch and the yo-yo here. Maybe he's vaporizing it. I don't know what he's doing here, but as Alpha manages to save Hiyofumi from being captured, the guy is like, the probability you would try to rescue a relative was easily 100%. Your family is too predictable. We know all about what your family is like, and out of respect for your impressive abilities, I think I'll damage you enough to prevent you from screaming or escaping. But as he does this, the tentacles are blocked by something, as we see a voice going, "I'm sorry," it's obviously Tayo. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, who's this bitch?" Like, it's obviously Tayo, as he goes, "I should have realised that you might have run away from home right as a wanted poster went live. My incompetence put the both of you in danger. I'm a failure as a pilot." "No, you're not. You come and rescue the kids in record time for being captured, Tayo." He goes on and says, like, "Oh, Mom was waiting for us at home cooking, making cocoa, so come on, let's go home." And that's where the chapter ends, where we see Alpha crying his eyes out as being protected by Hiyofumi and Tayo. So yeah, pretty good chapter. Got more of a development from the relationship between Alpha and Mutsumi, and like what they truly mean to each other. Like, well, yes, they can be annoyed with each other sometimes when it comes to protecting each other. They're just like every other Yozakura sibling. Like, you mess with one Yozakura sibling, you mess with all of us. Now, like I said, Tayo is gonna have to do some explaining. Like, he knows about the wanted poster right now, because he mentioned, like, as soon as the white poster comes out, I should have known you guys would be in danger. So he's going to have a sit down with his kids and tell them, like, okay, we lied to you. You do have relatives, but we did have a reason for keeping that information from you. But now it's time for you to actually meet the relatives. So I guess next chapter we're finally going to start getting back into reintroducing the other Yozakura siblings, possibly getting Ayaka and Ai, and seeing what they look like after the time skip. And like I said, the dynamic and just the potential for storylines between the younger siblings and the 10th generation. That's just going to be so amazing that I cannot wait for it. But anyway, guys, What did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.